Hey YouTube, I had a dream last night that I feel like I should share, and this is really the only time that I've got to do it, so I apologize for the diesel noises. This is the dump truck that I bought back in April. I started this business in June, and I believe that a lot of this had to do with sowing and reaping that I did in the previous year, and that this is how the Lord wanted me to um, move up to bigger fields, I guess. You know, in 2 Corinthians 9, it says that he gives seed to the sower and bread for food. So if you're a sower, then he gives you more seed to sow. So the dream was related to that, but I believe it was also related to today, which is election day. Um, so I'll get into the dream, and then I'll try to explain what I think about it. The truck's still warming up. We're not there yet. So I have an Amazon business also, and in the dream, I was in one of the places where I buy product, and I was scanning things to find profitable items. And I found one that it had a good sell price, but then when I looked at it, the buy price was terrible, which made it not worth my time, so I put it back. And as I was scanning that stuff, I saw someone come in and they stuffed a bunch of product up in like this coat they were wearing. And when they started going towards the door, I went after them. And I put them in this like MMA chokehold kind of thing, like wrapped them up like a pretzel. And I said to the guy, I knew that he didn't speak English. I said to the guy, necesitas trabajar, which means you need a job, you need to work. So that was the whole dream, and then I woke up. Now, from the sowing and reaping side, what that tells me is that this has so many multiple interpretations, I believe. Right now we live in inflation. So what I see from the inflation is that prices are so high that there was no margin for me to profit off of what I normally would have profited on. And everybody is living this economy where you go to the grocery store and what used to cost $70 now costs $200. I see it every time I go to the grocery store, and so do you. You know, and it applies to everything. House prices are double, car prices are double, you name it. So I think that part of the dream is a direct inflection or direct reflection on the inflation that we're dealing with. And then also part of our economy is that we have all these illegals coming in. You know, notice the guy didn't speak English. He was coming to steal. And, you know, he directly would have hurt the place that I was sourcing from. So the place that I was using as provision, he was stealing from. And then, you know, I took responsibility on myself. Instead of expecting the business to protect their own thing, I was protecting my own provision. And, you know, I wrapped the guy up waiting for the cops or whatever. So that goes back to directly what I believe Malachi 3:10, when it says that, you know, God says, you have robbed me in tithes and in offerings. You've robbed God of a blessing. He can't bless you if you don't give him something to bless. And when you look in the New Testament, you look in the stories of provision in the Bible, God multiplied what was already there. The loaves and the fish, he said, you know, bring me something. And they brought the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and he multiplied it. Or the lady that Elisha, the widow that he provided for, he said, what do you have in your house? It was oil and flour. I don't remember. But, you know, he multiplied what was in your house. And in Malachi 3:10 and onward, it says that I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. So I had this sense that in the dream that it was also, you know, the one that would normally steal from you was now under arrest and not able to steal, because by stealing, it would just increase the prices of where I was buying. So this dream, the way I understand it, it's talking about God rebuking the devourer for my sake, that because I've sown, because I've moved up to sow with this business, that, you know, he protects what I put my hand to. But then today is also election day, so I apply it to that also, because I just had a conversation with a guy who was so spiritually minded, he's no earthly good, and says that, you know, where does the Bible say to vote? And where does the Bible say to do this? If you don't take natural action to resist the devil, I feel like you're responsible, because if you know that someone is in a position to steal the election, to steal from your country, and you don't do something to arrest them, they're only going to make your life worse. They're going to cause inflation in your life because you didn't do what was naturally in your power to prevent it. So I don't know. I think you can understand where I'm going with that. I don't really need to break it down anymore. But regardless of the election, I mean, I think everybody's got an opinion on that, but I think that it's just more evidence that we are deep into end times, that we are deep into the next phase where, you know, tribulation is probably not that far down the road. So, you know, I pray for our country. This country has been a light. This country has been an ambassador. This country has sent out missionaries in the gospel. And I pray for this country that the devil doesn't destroy it, and that God is able to redeem those that are listening, those that are answering the knock at the door. When Jesus knocks at your door, you know, it's in your hands to answer it. You know, a lot of people say they're waiting on God and wait for him to do something. Well, he's waiting on us to do something too. You know, it requires a response on our behalf. So Jesus is Lord, Jesus is King, and you know, if you see the signs that are around you, Jesus is coming soon. So if you don't know him, you need to, and if you're not born again, you need to be, because that is the only way to settle the sin account with God the Father. So that's what I got.